The aged mother. Long, long ago there lived at the foot of the mountain a poor farmer and his aged, widowed mother. They had a bit of land which gave them food, and they were kind, peaceful, and happy. Shining was governed by a despotic leader who, though a fighter, was very afraid of anything that made him look weak or sick. This caused him to send out a cruel proclamation. The whole region was given strict orders to immediately put to death all aged people. Those were bad days, and the custom of abandoning old people to die was not uncommon. The poor farmer loved his aged mother very much, and the order broke his heart. But no one ever thought twice about doing what the governor told them to do, so with many deep and hopeless sighs, the youth prepared for what at that time was considered the kindest mode of death. Just at sundown, when his day's work was ended, he took a quantity of unwhitened rice, which was the main food for the poor, and he cooked, dried it, and tied it in a square cloth. He hung it around his neck with a bottle filled with cool, sweet water. Then he lifted his helpless old mother to his back and started on his painful journey up the mountain. The road was long and steep. The narrow road was crossed and recrossed by many paths made by the hunters and woodcutters. In some place, they lost and confused, but he gave no heed. One path or another, it didn't matter. He went on, climbing upward, ever upward towards Obatsuyama, the mountain of the abandoning of the aged. The eyes of the old mother were not so dim but that they noted the reckless running from one path to another, and her loving heart grew anxious. Her son did not know the mountain's many paths, and his return might be dangerous. So she put out her hand, and breaking the twigs from bushes as they passed, she quietly dropped a handful every few steps of the way so that as they climbed, the narrow path behind them was filled with small piles of twigs. At last they reached the top. Tired and sad, the man gently released his mother. He made a soft cushion out of falling pine needles and gently put his old mother on it. He wrapped her thick coat tighter around her shoulders and said goodbye with tears in his eyes and pain in his heart. The mother's voice was full of unselfish love as she said, "Let your eyes not be blinded, my son," she said. "The mountain road is full of dangers. Look carefully and follow the path which holds the piles of twigs. They will guide you to the familiar path farther down." The son's surprised eyes looked back over the path, then at the poor old, shriveled hands all scratched and soiled by their work of love. His heart broke within, and bowing to the ground, he cried aloud, "Oh, honorable mother, your kindness breaks my heart. I will not leave you. Together we will follow the path of twigs, and together we will die." Once more he shouldered his mother, how light it seemed now, and run down the path, through the shadows and the moonlight, to the little hut in the valley. Under the kitchen floor was a walled closet for food, which was covered and hidden from view. There the son hid his mother, supplying her with everything she needed, continually watching and fearing she would be discovered. Time passed, and he was beginning to feel safe when, again, the governor sent messengers with an unreasonable order. He told his people that they had to give him a rope made of ashes. The whole region trembled with fear. The order must be obeyed. Yet who in all Shining could make a rope of ashes? One night, in great distress, the son told the news to his hidden mother. "Wait," she said. "I will think. I will think." On the second day she told him what to do. "Make rope of twisted straw," she said. "Then stretch it upon a row of flat stones and burn it on a windless night. He called the people together and did as she said. When the blaze died down, there upon the stones, with every twist and fibre showing perfectly, lay a rope of ashes. The governor liked that the young man was very clever. But he wanted to know where he had obtained his wisdom. "Alas! Alas!" cried the farmer. "The truth must be told," and with deep bows he told his story. The governor listened and then thought quietly for a while. Finally, he lifted his head. "Shining needs more than strength of youth," he said gravely. "Ah, that I should have forgotten the well-known saying, with the crown of snow, there comes wisdom." At that very moment the cruel law was abolished, and custom became so old that only stories about them remain.